What's up guys? So for today's video I'm going to be sharing with you my pros and cons of community college. I was going to do a reflection on my first year of community college, but I feel like I should really leave it up to you on your perception of community college, just because I know there's like a lot of like myths and theories on it almost. So I'm just going to be giving you my pros and cons of it from what I've experienced, and then we could just go from there. The first thing we're going to start off with are pros. First pro is the most obvious pro of them all, is the fact that you save money. Most four-year universities, I think, make you pay between $40,000 a year, I think. It can go up to $40,000, you know, obviously it could be lower or more, but I'm saying like somehow, some way they're getting that $40,000, whether or not it's scholarships or grants, you know, like either way you're going to pay the $40,000. But when you go to a community college, it's not as much. I personally can't tell you how much because I don't pay for my my classes. I get NJ Star, which is basically free tuition, so I can pick whatever class I want. I don't have to pay for it. But I will get to something else along those lines. Along with that pro is the fact that you're basically getting the same education that you would at a university, that you are getting at a more affordable price at the community college. My community college is actually owned by one of the universities within my area, so a lot of the teachers that teach at that university also teach at the college. Now, of course, there are many professors at any college who teach at other colleges, so it doesn't even have to, your community college doesn't need to be owned by a larger university. Plenty of those professors probably teach at plenty of the neighboring universities, and they probably are just as qualified as the professors you would be taught by at a four-year university. The second pro is you won't get the freshman 15. I have to say, this is like 100% true. For me anyways, like when I was thinking about going to university, I specifically looked at their gyms and stuff. I wanted to start working out, but like along with that, I didn't want to gain freshman 15. I'm talking too fast. I didn't want to gain freshman 15 because I know it is real. You hear it, you think it's a myth, but it's not a myth, because there are plenty of kids that I graduated with and I see them on Instagram and they have gained weight. Now, I'm not saying that they're fat. No, they're not fat, but you can tell that they did gain weight from how much they weighed in high school to how much they weigh now after the first year of college. So with me, I didn't eat out as much. I didn't have like, you know, a whole cafeteria. Like there is a cafeteria at my school, but I mainly eat food that my mom makes, that I make, or that I buy here and there. I don't eat out much. I'm like, my family, we don't eat out like ever really. We're that type of family who eats out 0 to 1 times per month. Like rarely. I think I just started going out eating more just because I'm like in a relationship with my boyfriend, so when we go out on dates, we go out to eat. That's it. That's the only reason why I would even consider going out to eat, really. But I have not gained the freshman 15. I'm still the same weight that I was when I started. If anything, just a little more because of, I don't know, just fluctuation, you know, regular fluctuation of being in the winter, gaining weight, and then being in the summer, you lose weight. So I didn't get the freshman 15. I contribute that to community college because I probably would have picked out with that little card that you just swipe everywhere with your little meal passes, you know, and especially because I know you can use those cards at a multitude of places that neighbor the university. It doesn't have to be like in the cafeteria. I'm pretty sure you can use it as like food trucks and sometimes like actual restaurants. I don't have that luxury. I have to pay for everything, which is probably another reason why, because when you're at a university, you know, all the stuff is prepaid for you. If you're at a community college, you literally have to pay out of pocket no matter where you go. Next pro, you don't have to worry about housing / paying for rent. Now, this applies to people who don't have an apartment. If you have an apartment, if you live with roommates and you go to community college, this doesn't apply to you. But if you're like me and you stayed at home, I don't have to pay for rent. My parents made me pay for rent. I don't have to pay for any bills. I don't like have to pay for my own groceries necessarily. Like she gives me the base, you know, like food, water, dinner, lunch, breakfast, yada yada. But if I want other stuff, like I get my own K-cups for our Keurig, or like if I just want certain snacks, then I'll just buy that. If I want certain foods, like a salad or a wrap, yada yada, same thing with the eating out thing, I'll buy it myself. I don't have to pay for rent, but I have to pay for stuff that applies to me, like toiletries, like clothes. I know where to spend, what to save on. It's a balance. But a big thing is not having to pay rent, because I know rent is a bitch. Let me tell you, they say wait as long as you can to not pay rent, because the minute you start paying rent, it just goes downhill from there. Because like the minute you get your paycheck, the first thing you got to cut out is rent and utilities. Like the first thing you got to cut out, and it's like, man, what am I left with? barely any grocery money. The last pro that I have are you get smaller classes and it makes it more intimate. Now, when I say smaller classes, I mean between 20 to 30 people. Because I know at some universities you can have lecture halls and that can be up to like, what, maybe like in the 200s-ish area. You'll be in the hundreds when you're in like, I guess those lecture type of classes at universities. So, and I've also heard that like you don't even, when you do roll call, it's not by name, it's by number. Which I think is kind of crazy, and like by number, like there's that many people you have to do it by number, but it makes sense because there's hundreds of people. At my school, you know, do roll call, the teacher knows your name. Every time you walk in the classroom, they know your name, you know, that whole shebang. If you want that more intimate setting, that more one-on-one, then, you know, like in the classroom, you'll get that at a community college, or just any college that's small for that matter. But I'm pretty sure you could easily just set up a meeting with your teacher if you ever really needed help, and it would still be one-on-one whether you're at a community college or a university, if that makes sense. And now for the cons. Oh, this is about to be fun. First con, and I don't mean this to be disrespectful, but it may feel like 13th grade. And the reason why I say this is just because sometimes if it's like a community college that is nearby to your high school within that area, which I'm just basing this off of literally my college. My community college is not too far from like where all the high schools are. We got NJ Stars through our high school because our high school is like, you could say like partnered with them, I guess you could say. So we had it where it was, if you were in the top certain percentage of your class, you would receive the NJ Stars. What's the other thing? Oh, I forget what it's called when you leave school early to go to take classes at community college. We would have obviously first period through ninth period. It would be between, I think 4th or 5th would be when you would leave school and you would go to the community college to take the rest of your like classes. If you were taking college classes, that you would leave school early. So we're like almost partnered with them. So a majority of the students at my school either went away to college or went to the community college. So let's say like half of them went away and half of them stayed here. I see a lot of them on a day-to-day basis, like a daily basis. I had some of them in my classes. Some of them were like had classes at the same time as me, like on the same floor, and I would see them. So it may feel like that. Obviously, when you go to certain classes, you will see a multitude of people, plenty of people that you don't know, but you'll also see a good amount of people that you do know. And that's how it was with me. I saw people who graduated before me because they were sophomores now, and then I saw people who I had just graduated with, they were there too. So you may get that feeling of 13th grade, but let me tell you, they ain't gonna talk to you unless you talk to them and like actually interact with them, because some of them I talk to and not all of them I talk to. So it just depends. The second con is the food is aight. The food is aight. Like the food ain't all that. I had a whole video on my like the annoying things that happen at my college, and one of them had to do with the microwave because that microwave is disgusting. You should watch that video. It is hilarious. But I tried their food one day. Only one thing. It was pasta salad, but it was like the Italian version of pasta salad, because I don't go putting pepperoni and cheese up in my Italian salad like that. Italian salad. Pasta salad. So I didn't like that, and the minute I ate that, I was just like, it didn't even have Italian dressing. It was just oil. And I was like, what is this? What did I just miss? I didn't like it. I wasn't for it. I saw a bunch of people constantly getting food, so I'm sure there was some food that you could eat there. So my one friend, she had went to that same cafe and she had went and ordered a, I think it was like a coffee or something. And she said, either she said it tasted burnt or it tasted watered down. And I was like, yeah, I'm not buying food from here. There have been plenty of times also where I have went and like, you know, nowadays because vending machines are all cool and up to date, where you can slide your card in order to like use money off your card in order to get something from the vending machine. And I was really on my what is it called? Those little cakes that have like, oh, crumb cake thingies. I was really on to those, like I was hooked onto those. But there were too many times where I had slid my card and I would go to like, you know, E7 and then it would come out, but it would get stuck every single time. I'm like, this usually never happens at any vending machines I ever go to besides the one at my school. That desperate for money? Okay. The third thing is me coming back to expenses where I was talking about how I get free tuition, but I still have to pay fees. I think it's like to use the computer lab and like some other weird fee stuff. So that's like $550. So that's one side. And then I also have to pay for books, which I never paid that much for books because I took out a loan. But I remember one time I was talking to this one girl from my public speaking class, and we had to get a book because we needed it for the class or whatnot. And the girl was like, I am not buying any more books for my classes because I already spent $1,000 in books. And I was like, who's spending $1,000 on books? You still have to pay certain expenses. It is still a college. You are still going to be paying a substantial amount of money for a substantial amount of things. I personally recommend renting books. I was all about, you know, the whole buying books new and then looking all fresh and crisp. No, we're not doing that anymore. I'm past my first semester, first year stage, and now I'm renting these books for $20 and sending them back through mail to the company that sent them to me in the first place, because paying over $150 for books and then they want to give you $10 back, we're not doing that here. No, we're not doing that here. And the last thing, which was like the biggest thing for me, which is the number one thing why I feel like community college just was, well, there were a number of factors, but this was like one of the main ones, which was, now I say this for my community college personally just because I don't know how everyone else is set up. I don't know the whole general scheme of community colleges, but there are not that many extracurriculars / parties for social life. Now, I say this with a disclaimer because when I was looking at universities, four-year universities like Rutgers, and I was looking at UVA, you know, colleges in Delaware, they had at least 150 to 200 plus clubs for you to join. Now, of course, they have a much larger student body, so you have to be able to offer a variety of things for people to want to do. But I'm pretty sure my college only offers between, I think, 20 to 25 clubs. If anything, 20 exactly or less. So a lot of them I wasn't really able to personally connect with them in terms of my hobbies, likes, interests, and I also work. So since I have a job, I go, like I used to, my old job, I used to go straight from school, straight to work. Like the minute my last class ended at 1:30, I had to drive 20-25 minutes to go straight to my job because I had my job from 2 to 6, basically every day, Monday through Friday. So I didn't have time to go do a club, but then I got a new job, so I was able to work nights. But then since I worked nights, I wasn't able to come home after work. Like I could work at night, but I'm the person who, I'm gonna fall asleep. Like regardless what time, it would be like 9:30, 9ish. I'm gonna fall asleep if I stay up till like 10, 11, 12 doing an assignment. So the time between me getting out of class to right before I had to go to work at like, let's say 3 or something, I would use that time for studying and doing homework. So I really didn't have any time to do a club. Now, if you don't have a job and you had time to do a club, feel free. I still didn't think anything really caught my eye. That, and there weren't like really parties per se for you to go to because we don't have fraternities, we don't have sororities, or like, I don't know how that whole thing goes down with parties and like who has them and who doesn't and how you figure out from who so and whatnot. But I'm just saying, I felt like I was expecting like college to up my social life. Most of my social life per se goes to working. So if I were to be at the university, I thought that, you know, work put aside, I'd have more time to do studies and have friends and hang out. But I like having money. I like being able to buy what I want when I want and not have to worry about someone else paying for it for me, or like me waiting on them to finally give me money to buy something. I like that it's all up to me. Like it all depends on me. I like the independency of that. So just so you know, the social aspect of things is if you have a lot of friends, you guys do a lot of things, you have a large social group, you know, talk to him and her and this and that and whatnot, and you can meet up and have parties and do whatnot, then that's great. Like there's your social life. But if it's like me and like I have a small knit group of friends, I don't mind the small knit group of friends. I have my boyfriend, you know, and hang out with them. I don't hang out with them as much because I have school and I have work. Now I only have work because I'm not in school, it's summertime, but now I work more to make up for the fact that I'm not in school, so I pick up more hours because I need to make more money. If you can pick up more hours at work to make more money, hello, why wouldn't you? Those are the pros and cons of community college. That is what I feel about them. Take from it what you want, what you must. Hope you enjoyed this video. I hope it was very informative in those types of aspects of things, just to give you like a little broad general idea of it, you know, whatnot. But I hope this video helped you in some way, one way or another. Feel free to subscribe to keep up with my videos. Like this video if you enjoyed it, and if you stay tuned, you will be seeing my next video very shortly. I will talk to you guys later. Bye.